This Crev's corner, the ball is in your court. Swish.
Welcome back to Crev's Corner, guys. This is my 19th episode. Thank you guys for the support endlessly. It is more than appreciated. Today, we have a special guest. We have Cedarville track and cross-country runner, kind of an athlete that does it all, Levi Robinson, graduate of Plymouth, Big Red alumni, where I graduated from. Levi, just give your socials out for people who don't know who you are and who don't follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Levi Robinson. And you can follow me on Strava to watch my running and see what I'm up to.
Going into our just kind of origin of how we know each other. Levi's mom babysat for me when I was a young kid, and we just have had endless pickup basketball, pickup baseball, pickup football games. My mom and his mom are close, and that is how, and I kind of just followed the journey. You know, I was one of those guys that wanted you to expand your athletic boundaries and not keep it to running. I wanted you to go into football and basketball and baseball. So you played baseball up until you were about 11 years old, and you never really got into organized basketball. So why did you limit yourself and only do, track and field and cross country?
Yeah, you're right. I played Little League up until I think 7th grade or 8th grade. And then I did basketball also in middle school, 7th, 8th grade basketball. But I was just falling in love with running, and I felt bad because I had to not train for running while I was doing Little League or basketball, and I really just wanted to be a good runner.
So you never really, so you never took interest. I mean, you see athletes who are not or do not have the athletic capabilities that you do that do try to dual sport or something like that. So that was never part of your interest. You were 100% set on running.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved playing Little League and basketball, but my heart was in running, and that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Some good things always come to an end. So you actually were a conference and district winner your senior year. And then obviously after your senior year, you chose to go to Cedarville University. Did you receive any offers, closer than Cedarville?
No, I mean, I looked at a couple other schools, but not really that close. My brother went to Cedarville University. So, I mean, when he was looking into the schools, he visited. And of course, as a younger brother, I tagged along for the journey and came to see what it was like. And then once he was here the last 2 years, I visited a couple times to see what it's like. And I just really liked it. Their vision is to stand for the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ. And that's exactly what I wanted in a school. I wanted somewhere where, I can grow academically and athletically, but most importantly, spiritually. I wanted somewhere where I could grow to become the best man I could be. Whether that's as a coworker or an employee, or on down the line as a father and as a husband. And Cedarville has met that challenge. They have. I've been very pleased that I chose to come here. The community is really great. My teammates are really great. We have a lot of fun with each other. We really enjoy pranking each other. Most of the times, these are harmless pranks.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, in the evenings, we play almost anything, spike ball, volleyball, basketball. We just have a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm really glad I chose Cedarville. I love it here.
Yeah, when me and my mom had a short conversation, I was one of those people that wouldn't be shocked if you went to like a Liberty University or a Mount Vernon Nazarene. And when you found Cedarville, it was nothing short of surprise that was the path that you were taking when accepting college offers and looking at colleges, that you wouldn't look to set a foundation of God and kind of take religion and Christianity into your own belief. Obviously, you are an open Christian, and I am a Christian as well, openly throughout. And you have really not taken the traditional way as a Christian athlete. You are very open about it versus a lot of people kind of put in their back pocket and don't really talk about the word of God much. But being an open Christian athlete, why do you think our generation shies away from labeling themselves a Christian athlete? You see all the time, you have a Tim Tebow every now and again, but people who say they're Christian athletes, and I can be a hypocrite about this because I was one who was a Christian and went to church all my life and was never openly, not openly accepting of it, but openly proud to tell someone that I was. Versus, I think you and your brother Justin follow those footsteps in the right way, going to Ripley Church, and then obviously taking that journey throughout your high school athletic and academic career. So just talk about that, elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one of the big reasons is some Christians, especially athletes, they're afraid to say that they're a Christian because when you tell others you're a Christian, they'll look at you a little differently, maybe, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. You know, people watch what you do, people watch what you say, people watch the jokes that you make, or how you spend your time. You know, what you do with your friends on the weekends.
The spotlight's
And,
always
and I,
on you. The spotlight's only always on you. You know, you can't really do any slip ups. I see what you mean by that.
yeah, and I'm not perfect. I mess up. I make jokes I shouldn't. I get angry at people, and sometimes I'm short with others. But I'm not going to be a closet Christian because of how others might view me, or what they might say about me, or the persecution I may face. My testimony of what God has done for me and what He can do for others is so great that I will not keep it a secret. And especially since so many people right now, they're searching for truth in their life, for something, and a lot of them you see running to drugs or alcohol abuse or relationships and sex, but nothing in this world can truly satisfy. And just one last point on this for everyone listening or watching: God truly loves you, and it doesn't matter what you have done. Nothing can separate you from the love of God, and He's earnestly waiting for you to drop the loving the things of this world, and he wants you to fall down on your knees and go to Him, and fall into His loving arms.
I get what you mean by that. Yeah, I trust me, I'm a person who is not perfect at all. And I still going to church, you know, if it is if it is back to back weeks, I'm sure you go weekly. But sometimes I struggle to find myself or even get out of bed and find the motivation to go. But I tell you, when I do go to church and when I leave, I feel like a 10 times better person. When I'm talking as a person, a brother, a son, a Christian, I feel like a 10 times a better person when I go into a chapel or a church or Christian Alliance or Crossroads. I feel more loved and accepted going out than I did coming in. Going on to athletics, who are some athletes that you look up to in your life? Are they all runners? Are they Christian athletes? Who are some athletes that you look up to in your life?
Yeah, I'd say probably mostly runners. I mean, I've loved running since I was a kid. I remember my mom's side, we always used to have a family reunion every year, and my uncle Doug and my mom, they set up a 5K for us all to run in, and I think that's when I really fell in love with running, and especially competition. I love to compete, and then once I got into middle school, you know, it was watching who was on the high school team, like Nathaniel Redden, Darren Geis, Jacob Beckner, my brother. Uh, just as a young guy, I mean, I was looking up to high school and being like, man, I can't wait till I'm a big boy and get to race the 5K.
Mhm.
And then once I was in high school, I mean, it was my coach, Jay Follett. He's been such a passion. He has a passion for coaching and running, and every day he was out there with me, making me the best I could be. It didn't matter if it's 15 degrees and snowy out. Uh, Many times we've fallen on ice together, running around Plymouth, or even like if it's hot, the other spectrum, 90 degrees and no shade, we're out there running out of school. Uh, he sacrificed himself to, and he was willing to do that so that he could see me succeed, and that's definitely something to look up to.
You talk about racing around, or you talk about running with Follett around Plymouth. My next question going on to that is, when you are winning these races, you were a conference and district runner, winner your senior year. You win all these regular season races in track and in cross country, and still you find the motivation to get up in snowing, if it's raining, if it's sunny out, you proceed to run. I mean, what is your drive? What really drives you in bed, being like, I have to go out and do this, despite having all the success in your racing career? What is your main drive?
I just want to be the best I can be, and that starts with practice. Every day, I ask myself, what am I doing today to make me better? Uh, so that when I do go into a race, I feel ready and I'm prepared. Because if you go in prepared, you go in confident. I think then you perform better. And then once you're in the race, all you can do is just do the best you can do. Uh, but yeah, I want to be the best I can be so that I can just share with others.
Now, on a national platform level, when we talk about middle school, high school, college, it seems like across all divisions, cross country and track athletes don't get the recognition that some respective athletes get, like a basketball player, baseball, football. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, well, I think it takes a different breed to be a runner. It takes a lot of hard work, and it hurts like no other sport, and it can be painful. So I think a lot of runners more run for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they try to see what they're capable of. They push themselves, and you're right. A lot of them don't get the recognition that they deserve. Uh, when you said this, I thought about Cole Hocker. He was a college student who was a national champion and then an Olympian. And he got some recognition within the running community, but then he didn't really get much outside of the running community until he was an Olympian. And that's completely different than, like you said, the basketball athletes, the best basketball and football athletes. I mean, even if you don't really follow sports, you probably know their names. And I think a huge reason for this is because of entertainment value and money. I mean, just more people are want to watch football, want to watch basketball, and that's where they put their money. So it makes sense that they get more recognition. You don't see people out there wearing like Cole Hocker jerseys or Drew Hunter jerseys. A lot of people probably don't even know those names. You see the Joe Burrow, LeBron James, you name it. You see those jerseys, and I think that's because money runs a lot of things, and that's true within the division of sports, and it really makes sense at the professional level. But it hurts to see when there's that division in the middle school and high school.
Going on to my next question about recognition, I don't even know if you're aware about this or not, but I'm sure you are. Someone who we probably know tweeted when you had your senior success going into your regionals on October 7th, 2020. So I have the screenshot in case anyone tries calling me out on this and saying I'm throwing fluff. You took down a 37-year-old track record at the Buckeye Central Invite, and then someone proceeded to retweet after your record and said that you are arguably one of the best Plymouth athletes to step through Plymouth. One, how big of an honor is it for someone to even include your name, even if it's not someone that people take serious? How incredible is it of an honor that you get tossed into that category by a fan? And then two, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, it's a huge honor, but it's been a combination of so many people and so much support that I've had. As I mentioned earlier, Jay Follett, he's been a huge part. There's so much more about what I could say about him and what he's meant to me. Jacob Beckner, when Jay wasn't there, or even when Jay was there, Beckner would hop on his bike and he would ride laps around the school with me or laps around the track while I was doing a workout to help pace me. And that is just a huge help. And my family is a huge support of me. All my grandparents, they support me in everything I do. And my brother, he's only 2 years older. You talked about him earlier, Justin. So we do a lot of things together, and I don't think I could have accomplished nearly what I did without all this support. And I'm just so blessed to have them in my life, and that they're willing to sacrifice themselves to watch me succeed and watch me do well. And yeah, that's really nice of him to say that. And we've had great athletes at Plymouth, so I'm honored by that. And I do think I know who said that because I looked it up earlier today, and he's a good friend. Yeah, but at Plymouth we've had two state championship teams, the 71 and 74 cross country teams coached by Bob James. Won
Only
state.
Plymouth, only Plymouth State championship team to this day. I do know
That's right. And they made it to state in 72 and 73.
And
So,
then
I
there was
mean,
some regional cross country success. What in 09? It was somewhere around the 08, 09, 10, 11 that there was cross country teams getting sent to regional. So cross country inevitably has been a very successful program when you talk about Plymouth's history going forward.
yeah. And so I've been so honored to take a part in this historic, successful program and to have my name with the likes of, like Lauren Kranz, who is another great cross country athlete. He holds 4 of the top 10 times and 8 of the top 20 school times. For him to say that about me, and then look at these other guys and my name be within the likes of those, I'm really honored, and I hope I have inspired others to do their best and carry on this program and the success that we have seen in the cross country program at Plymouth.
Now, do you ever see yourself going into or entering your entering your name in big races like the Boston Marathon or something? Do you see yourself being a marathon runner, or are you just sticking to your college career for now?
Oh man, I don't even know if I've looked into marathons yet. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to grind the college schedule, cross country track, and then we'll see. I hope to continue running past graduation, and I can see myself getting into some marathons, but we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, shout out to your family too, Justin, Jason, Rachel, Holly, Dave. That was a second family to me. I appreciate. Obviously, you were like a little brother to me when I grew up and when we played games after school. But
Oh man, we had so much fun. Our
man,
moms
you
would
used
stick
to get
around.
so mad sometimes. You used to just get so angry. And Justin, I'm not even, and me. I won't leave myself out of that, but Justin,
Oh, it's so
Justin,
good to see
you're
what you're doing
watching.
now as a sport reporter. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
growing up, that's what you love.
yeah. That's where I'm trying to.
We
I'm
would
trying
pick
to.
teams, and you'd be acting like you're announcing, and it was just it's just so good to see where you've come,
Yeah, you
and that
kind of
you're
have
living out
seen
your
the
dream here.
foundation.
Uh,
You have been one of the people outside of my, immediate friend group that I grew up with. You have been a family friend that has been on the outside looking in, seeing how much I love sports and the desire that I've had. And I'm sure your family was one family that wasn't shocked when I started this and have seen that progression of how serious I took this going forward and just my love for the game. I always say, and I'm sure you can side this, is sports is more than a game. I mean, when we talk about bringing people together, when we talk about battling back injuries or, adding Christianity into it, I was a big Tebow guy. So that kind of took a place in my heart as a kid. Tim Tebow, one of my favorite athletes, going out there, kneeling, praying for God and stuff like that. But I'm going to end this question with kind of backtracking to religion. You see all these current problems in today's world, politics, you see the police problems, you see racial diversity has been something that we've questioned about for years now. How can people stay assertive of these problems and still keep their focus on God, knowing that there's a bigger picture ahead?
yeah, you have to put your faith in God and first put your alliance in what the Word of God says over what our country says or over a certain political party. I found myself doing that at times, back in one political party, and that tends to like put down the other side and cause hatred for other people, and I've been convicted about that very recently, that we need to stand for what the Bible says, to love our enemies and love those who persecute you. And I think that's where it starts. We love others better, we love others more, and that's how to solve many of our problems.
Yeah, I definitely think that politics is something more now than ever that has divided the general public when we talk about people of any race, any religious belief, any color of your skin, what you like to do after 5 o'clock. It divides everyone. So to talk about, putting your faith in God and that we are all in one together, it's not half of the United States is fighting half the United States. I think that we need to put the bigger picture ahead and realize that if we just keep going against each other, nothing's going to get solved, and that we should be united as a whole. Well, that'll end this podcast for us. Do you have any questions or comments? Maybe something that you want to say that hasn't been said or hasn't been talked about already?
Man, I don't know. I think we covered quite a bit. Unless you have any other questions.
No, I do not have any other questions. Where would be one spot in the United States? I will do this because I'm starting to end my podcast with a random question. What is one spot in the United States that you haven't been to that you would like to go to?
Oh, this is easy. Alaska.
Alaska? Alaska ain't even a part of the United States. No, I'm joking.
Oh, come on, Braden.
I'm joking. It shouldn't be. They ain't united. No, I'm joking. But why Alaska? It's freezing out there.
It is freezing, but it's freezing here in Ohio too.
It is. It is pretty cool. It's getting pretty cool in November.
It is. I love mountains, the mountains and the wildlife, and I love to run. So I like running in beautiful scenery. And
so your dream is just a 5-mile run through Alaska.
Oh, longer than that.
Longer than that. Okay, this is another question. What is the slowest mile time you've ever had?
Like in a race?
In a race, what is the slowest mile time you ever had? If you remember it, like this has got to be like in your 7th grade years. But what is the slowest mile time you ever had?
Oh man, probably in the 6s.
All right, and then what do you run a mile now? What's your like pace mile?
Like my mile PR?
Yeah, your mile PR, not pace, but your mile PR.
450.
I could maybe run a mile faster than you could run 2. Maybe. I think I could do it now, but I've gained a little weight since we've last seen each other, so I don't know about this. But thank you, Levi, for joining me. It was a blast. I've been wanting to get you on for a while, and I've just been busy, but I'm so glad that you could give the insight and enlightenment to some people who maybe this is a calling for someone who watches my podcast that hasn't expressed their belief on faith before, and maybe you push them to the edge. So I'm so glad that you joined us, buddy. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today. And if anyone has any questions, reach out to me. You can contact Braden. He has my phone number, or you can follow me on Instagram and DM me. Any questions?
Trust me, your family has been nothing but the best for me, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your family for everything growing up more than I ever imagined.